You're watching Talking Points, a focus on the political scene in Lubbock and across the South Plains.
And welcome back. Here's a look at some of the political headlines of the past week. Governor Abbott has what's called a university research initiative, and from that, Texas Tech received a $5 million grant to hire a man named Luis Rafael Herrera Estrella. He is one of the top cotton genome researchers on the planet and a member of the prestigious National Academy of Science. Herrera Estrella will now put the team together at Tech to look at how plants thrive in extreme environmental stresses. Pretty cool. Word this week, though, that the Pentagon Inspector General has begun an investigation into some of the allegations made about Rear Admiral Ronnie Jackson. Admiral Jackson, of course, is from Levelland. He was nominated by the president to be the new head of the Veterans Administration until allegations of personal and professional misconduct derailed his chances at that job. Lubbock's 77th District Court Judge Ruben Reyes has been selected to chair the governor's Texas Specialty Court Advisory Council. Judge Reyes has ran a special drug offenders court locally, and in the new position, he'll work with the state council to evaluate grant applications for new specialty courts all over the state. Judge Reyes also serves on the Texas Commission on Judicial Conduct. And a couple of bits of news for our veterans this week. One bill signed into law came courtesy of Lubbock Congressman Jody Arrington. It makes sure that veterans with service-related disabilities can get their homes modified to suit their needs without all the red tape and delays that have held up that process in the past. And the new law will actually save taxpayers money.
This change is needed. It will save the taxpayers money, and most importantly, it will help our disabled veterans immensely by ensuring that they have the right people on the job to address their service-connected disabilities in a timely fashion.
The president also signed into law a bill to give veterans more freedom to see doctors outside the troubled Veterans Affairs system. There is a worry, though, about how Congress will find money to pay for all that. It is always a good day when we can spend 5 good minutes with my man Chad Hasty, host the Chad Hasty Show weekdays on KFYO. Good to see you again.
Hey, good to be back.
I need your help here desperately. I don't know what to make of the voters' decisions during primary election season. You have two guys who all but got themselves elected to the county commissioners' jobs by simply saying no more higher taxes. Then Gary Boren does the same thing and then loses the race late. What happened there?
Well, you know, it's a great question, and one that we talked about a lot on the show and talked to a lot of people about. I think it comes down to, as we see in a lot of runoffs, who's more motivated to get their people out to vote. And oftentimes we've seen here in Lubbock included that the person who finishes in second just has an extra motivation to get out there and work maybe a little bit harder than the person who came in first and goes, you know what, I'm only a few points away from winning this thing. Maybe I can cruise towards victory, not upset too many people. But listen, this was an interesting race because you had two candidates who, you know, they were both trying to claim that conservative mantra. Right. And, you know, when the issue of possible bond elections came up, you had candidates on different sides. So, you know, it was, to me, it was about, and as always, who can get their people out to vote.
Does the election process, though, that happened, especially with the no new taxes crowd in there, change the priorities of county and city leaders, really, going forward here, as far as how they will pay for things in the future and what they will do about debt in the future? Do you see that happening? You
know, I don't know about on the county level, because I think on the county level, they've actually held the debt in check on the county level. What I see on the county level, some things changing as far as pay increases and stuff like that. Plus, with the two new or soon to, you know, people who will probably be elected, the conservatives on there, I think that they're going to take that that county court in a conservative direction even more so. To the city council, it should send a message to the Lubbock City Council, should be a great big red flag to the Lubbock City Council about going to the voters when it's something as what should be as simple as a bond election for police substations. Go to the citizens, talk to the citizens. When it comes to future expenses, my hope is this will be a red flag to the city council.
You know, you talk about going more conservative on the commissioner side. Bill McKay sat here a couple of weeks ago and essentially said that Jason Corley, Chadsey, didn't know what they were getting into as far as how to pay for things. I thought that was interesting. Are we going to see some elbows thrown behind the scenes here?
No, you bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to be just behind the scenes. They're going to be right here. It's on my show, on your show. They're going to be in front of the scenes because I think that, and the reaction that I received from a lot of my listeners was after the election, Bill McKay said, well, we don't think this really sent a message to us. I think it did. I think he's wrong, and I think the two incoming commissioners are going to definitely send a message to the remaining commissioners and even to the county judge, no matter who would have won, that it's a new day in Lubbock County.
Are your listeners mad, or are they hopeful about their elected leaders and the whole trajectory of the city of Lubbock and the county right now?
It's a mixed bag. I think they're happy about the two new commissioners. I think there's mixed reviews on Curtis Parrish. They want to see how he's going to do. And on the city council, they're mad. They're upset. They're angry, just like a lot of Lubbock citizens.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at this past election as far as the Coliseum and Auditorium went. That should have been a slam dunk election for the city of Lubbock. And you heard it. I saw it on Facebook and everywhere else.
Yeah.
People are upset. People are upset with this city council, and that's why I say they need to pay attention to it.
Let's get a little philosophical here. We talked earlier about Ted Cruz, Beto O'Rourke. Beto's an interesting character.
Yeah.
And here to me is why. If you wrote out his position of issues on paper, 4 out of 5 people here probably wouldn't vote for him. But he's a nice guy. He sat here and on your show as well, and I heard, I don't know how many conservatives who went to hear him speak and said, yeah, maybe, I'll give him a second look. Does that say anything about us politically?
I think it shows that we're very nice and that we are open-minded out here in West Texas.
More than some would think.
Yeah, a lot more than some would think. But at the same time, you know, you can have a guy who's really nice and still not want to vote for him.
Right.
A guy who's really nice and you want to hear his positions on the issues and go, yeah, you're a good guy, you're honest with everybody, at least you're telling everybody how you feel in this race, but I'm still not going to vote for you. And if I had to place money on it today and go to Las Vegas, Ted Cruz is going to do pretty good out here in West Texas.
I think he'll be just fine. This guy does just fine every day, too, on KFYO. Chad Hasty. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Straight ahead, thousands of applications for therapists and social workers in Texas, and an even bigger need. The problem is that state workers are overwhelmed and can't hire them, and people are suffering. We'll explain why next on Talking About.